Mr. Craig, if you've opened this file, it means you're ready to see what this kid has in store for you. Well, together you and I are going to explore the infamous world above us and how it affects our innards. I hope you're wearing your seatbelt because it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to my own personal crash course. Evening, Mr. Craig, on depending when you've opened this file. First things first, let's do a recap of what you yourself have taught us so brilliantly. Let's take a look inside before we even start to comprehend the progressive freefall. Unfortunately, like most fish, we don't have the capability to extract O2 molecules from water through direct diffusion. We don't have gills or, in fact, wet mucousy pores to breathe in and out of. Also, you're just too big. Well, I'm not trying to take a shot at you. Look, to make you feel better, direct diffusion worked perfectly for anything smaller than a worm that didn't live in water. If we were going to grow in size, we simply needed more oxygen to power our wet, mucousy membranes inside of us. So, as time went on, we developed two vital systems: the circulatory system, to move oxygen around to our wet muscles and membranes, and the grand topic today, the respiratory system, to bring in more O2 to our wet, muscly membranes. Two separate things, muscles and membranes. While we can't extract oxygen by direct diffusion through our skin, our respiratory system can. I'm talking about lungs, Mr. Craig. Lungs. Lungs are filled with oxygen-dissolving membranes that are kept moist with mucus. It wouldn't look like it from the outside, but lungs have a ton of surface area, so they can absorb a lot of oxygen all at once. I'm talking about 75 square meters of oxygen-dissolving membrane. That's bigger than my roof. Anyways, let's talk about movement. Not specifically jumping out of planes from 3,000 feet up kind of movement, but lung movement. More specifically, diaphragm movement. When lungs empty, the diaphragm relaxes, which kind of looks like an arch pushing up and squishing your lungs. This act also, combined with the weight of your rib cage, decreases the volume of your lungs. Inhaling is just as complicated. The diaphragm contracts, pulling itself flat, and the wonderful helpers that are located under the ribs, called external intercostal muscles, contract, lifting your ribs up and out, causing the chest to expand. This whole process of inhalation makes the pressure inside your lungs lower than the air outside of your body. Fluids like gases, and oxygen in fact, like to move from high pressure to low pressure. Therefore, your lungs would take in the air from the outside. Of course, after it's been filtrated through your nose and cilias and all that kind of stuff. Wouldn't want to be exhaling a bee anytime soon. Unlikely, but still possible. The weight of your ribs lift and the diaphragm contracts, creating high pressure inside your lungs than the air outside, and air rushes out. Breathe in. Congratulations, you've oxygenized your bloodstream. Oxygenized? Congratulations, you've oxygenated your bloodstream. Now exhale. The CO2 has now made like a tree and left your body. The CO2 has now split like a banana and left your body. CO2 exits your body, and you don't even have to think about it. And you can think of something probably more important, like how many mini chocolate chips you could fit realistically in your mouth at one time. Congratulations, Mr. Craig. We now know how to breathe. And now we can get to the fun stuff. As much as I want to tell you that skydivers are super extraterrestrial human beings that can actually take in all the CO2 outside from their skin, that's not how it works. In fact, skydivers are just normal human beings like you and me, and they still have to regulate their breathing while in progressive freefall. The act of skydiving is much more complicated than it seems. And, of course, I have brought along a clone friend to help me out. Right over there. We'll go to Yale on the scene now. Yale? Oh, that's right. She's about to jump out of a plane. She doesn't really want to talk right now. She's a little nervous, and, she's putting her life at risk. Now let's see what she does next. with you, Mr. Craig, the respiratory system of a skydiver is no different from yours or mine. And to be honest, we're thinking about so much in the air on what to do, when to pull, how to arch your back, that we don't even think about breathing. Just like how I'm not thinking about breathing now. Although, you don't see me on the floor, gasping for air, like a fish out of water. I know, uneventful, but skydivers aren't superhuman. I wish they were. I wish they were. Picture this. You're sticking your head out of a car window, like a dog would, when he's happy on a sunny day. Now, take that, times it by 102, and make there to be super winds. Whatever super winds are. Really fast winds. It is shocking, though. The first time I personally skydived, it felt like I couldn't breathe. And it felt like the air was doing everything itself. As in, the air was pushing against my respiratory system so much that it just felt like it was in a constant loop and my diaphragm didn't have to do anything. All in all, we're just thinking about how we would not like to end up like a pancake on the ground. It's not a pretty sight. Thank you very much for spending your time with me today, Mr. Craig. If that didn't say it, I'm fucked.